thought I'd make a video while I'm waiting for dinner to cook about one of the things, actually the number one thing, the absolute, there is no doubt that the number one thing that holds people back from making change and improving their lives is a belief that is probably passed down to you through your parents, it's passed down through culture itself, by all these flippant comments that you'll see around the water cooler, the stuff that you see in news reports, the stuff you see from your doctors. And it goes in direct violation of everything that is true. And there's nothing that drives me crazier is hearing people talk about this and the being put in this place where they feel powerless and like there's no change that they can make in their lives. And that's exactly the belief that I'm talking about. People are told that they cannot change. And when that happens, people go into acceptance mode in the worst way. Like, acceptance can be very freeing, and for some people, getting a diagnosis is like, oh, great, I now have empowerment to make the changes that I need to make in my life, or I now have a direction of treatment that I can go to, and that's great. Other people, stuff becomes an identity, and it becomes the thing that they live on and feed on and go, well, this is just the way they am. This is the way that I operate. This is the way I feel. It happens after traumatic incidents. When you have somebody that is dealing with something terrible happening in their lives, it becomes just the way they are. Maybe they get stuck so much in a certain way of feeling that they're convinced that this is how they are now. And you'll hear it. That's how you know when somebody thinks that they can't change, because they say, I can't change. This is just the way I am. This is the way it is. Have you heard anybody say that? Have those words come out of your mouth before? This is just how I am. I can't change. It's too late for me. Go on ahead. This is how I am. If you don't like it, then you go away. Deal with it. This is just how things are. It often is accompanied by very defensive, kind of angry energy. And it's not true. Deaf people gain hearing. I'm not just talking about cochlear implants, although that's one of the options. Colorblind people can see color. There's crazy things. Paralyzed people can walk. You can regain nerves in places that were dead for decades. I could provide examples if you'd like. The way that you feel today is not the way that you feel tomorrow. The choices that you made prior do not mean that the choices that you have to continue to make, or that does not mean that the choices that you continue to make have to reflect the choices you've made prior. So the very first thing, even before that choice has changed, which can send you off in a new direction in life, the very first thing that comes up is you have to believe that you can change. You can. And when you do that, you unlock an entire new world. You start to notice how everything's changing. You go from gray and dark and trapped. That's what it is a trap. To believe that you can't change and that things are the way that they are. It may not happen as fast as you like. Change may not be in the direction that you like. Maybe not immediately. Maybe not to your preference. But you can change. You're always changing. And the idea that change only happens for the worse is something that has been poisoned into the commercials that you see on TV, the news that you see, the news reports that are grabbing headlines out of research reports that are either funded by special interests or aren't very good experiments oftentimes, or headlines that are taken from something that nobody that's reading the article about it is ever going to read, but it's a complete misinterpretation. And it's not saying that you need to not trust anybody, except that when they say you can't change, you should distrust anybody that tells you that you can't change. Your bones change. Your eyesight changes. Your cells are changing all the time. You have so much agency over the direction that your life takes, and particularly in the choices that you make that shape your life, because that is what your life is made of. It's of the choices that you make, the decisions that come up every day. Am I going to choose A or B? Well, I've been choosing A for 45 years, and just one day you choose B. And you look in a different direction. You see something else.